What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another BT9 locals match. Today we are going to be having Gaiomon on the left, and then on the right we are going to be having the MetalGarurumon X Antibody, the deck that is kind of the top dog of the format. Obviously there are a lot of top dogs in the format right now, a lot of decks winning events, but Melga one that's definitely up there in high consistency of topping and winning, and then Gaiomon on the up and up as well, been able to take a lot of top spots as well as wins here recently, so it'll be interesting to see which deck is going to take it here. They both have really high power spike turns and being able to shift momentum around. Melga X being able to go for very big swings. Gaiomon has both very offensive style of play with things like the Security Attack +1 Greymon inheritable, and Gaiomon being able to swing a lot of checks plus the tie checks. Or you have Blackboard Greymon, which allows you to be able to delete Tamers or Digimon to play a little bit more defensive, especially because we see the Black Greymon in Raising that does have the blocker inheritable, so being able to get that out and have blocker versus Melga will be pretty good. They don't have the best ways to get rid of Megas. Some lists are playing Cocytus Breath, some are also playing Metal Storm. Either of those would be nice to help get rid of a blocker Mega, but they aren't super common to be used in the metagame right now. Some lists do win regionals winning one Cocytus, so that is something that is gotten to start to pick up, but it is pretty inconsistent, so something they're gonna have to think about there. But gonna swing in 8k to 8k, but you do have a boost, so I think that Garurumon is sitting at 10k, so gonna be able to survive that check there and get the swing in, and of course unsuspend with the Digivolve. So if they want to go ahead and swing in, they can get some more checks. Look like they didn't have the 8 cards in hand to get the extra security attack, and they're just gonna leave it unsuspended, go with the Gaiomon X Antibody. I think that's fine. The next step here most likely is going to be the red-black Metal Greymon, which does de-Digivolve, so you'd be able to de-Digivolve down back to a Garurumon promo and then delete the Gaiomon. That would put your opponent in a position where they can go for a Garurumon X Antibody again, but if they don't, then they are going to have a little bit more awkward of a hand. So I'm going to start off with that Agumon to search, and then go into the Agumon X Antibody to once again search. Going to take the Blackboard Greymon out there, so we do have that set up. This is a deck that likes to play a lot of 3-cost, 2-cost Tamers, things like Analog Boy, the Cool Boy that we see there on the field, and with Blackboard Greymon being able to pop multiple up to 6 could be a big deal. You get 3 Cool Boys out, you can go to Blackboard Greymon, pop all 3. That's going to get rid of a lot of your opponent's resources and just memory gain in general, so that is something you have to be careful of when playing against Blackboard Greymon. You can't expend your Tamers too hard. You kind of want to wait for them to go up into the Blackboard Greymon, then play out a couple Tamers, because then they're going to have to build another stack to get back up there, and then you can start to get some value. So going to pop the blue memory boost, and actually just hard playing the Garurumon there. It is only a 4-drop, which is nice, a pretty cheap Garuru to play out when you don't have a rookie or something to get out on there, and can go with the Garurumon X Antibody, get the extra memory gain and the draw from the Cool Boy. So only at 2, there's not a lot that you can do without passing turn. If you do have Hammer Spark, you do have the ability to Hammer Spark up and get up into another Garurumon, which you could then use to cycle. But as of right now, that Metal Greymon is a problem. The inheritable of it does allow you to swing over unsuspended Digimon, so being able to Digivolve up here and then be able to swing over any of your opponent's big stacks is something that is very relevant, especially with the Blackboard Greymon, because the Blackboard Greymon, when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you get to unsuspend. So be able to swing over one of the Digimon, unsuspend, and then threaten to swing over another one, or maybe just go for checks, or just stay unsuspended with that blocker inheritable. That is something you're going to have to consider here. You do have to keep in mind that they do have protection from battle deletion with that Garuru X Antibody there. That will make it so if you swing over, they can get rid of these sources, so that way they don't get deleted, and since they don't get deleted, you won't unsuspend with Blackboard Greymon. So a little interaction there that is good if you don't know that already. You have to delete a Digimon to unsuspend, so if you do something like Armor Purge or use the effects to be able to prevent deletion, then they can't unsuspend there, but not going to matter at the moment. There was no double stack of the Garurumon and the Garuru X Antibody underneath that stack, so they can't prevent it there, but on the other stack, they do have it going on, so if you do get an ultimate on top of there, you would be able to use the effect to be able to use it and then slow down your opponent a little bit. But being able to get rid of their main stack is going to be pretty big. The Gaiomon being able to de-Digivolve Blitz to then swing over. Again, the Black War Greymon can allow you to swing over unsuspended Digimon, so you get rid of the stack, and then at the start of your opponent's turn, Gaiomon does have Reboot, so we'll be unsuspended, and with that blocker inheritable, gonna be able to stop this Garurumon swinging in right there. Not sure if the opponent forgot that it had blocker, or if they just really wanted to get the draw from the Garuru there. Either way, getting the draw from the Garuru isn't the worst. If you aren't going to go into an ultimate, you are going to get swung over anyway, and so just being able to get the draw so that way you can build up in raising is going to be nice. They do have the Garuru X Antibody stack going now, so can promote that out and get it going, but gonna be a little rough right here. Gaiomon swinging in for 3 checks, has +2, 1 from the natural security attack +1, and then 1 with the tie, so gonna be able to get 3, clear out a decent amount, reboot with blocker once again, putting the opponent in a very sticky situation, and then Kongu to top it off, so can't attack with Digimon that are a play cost of 7 or less, which is pretty big deal because the Garurumon promo is hitting that category, so not going to be able to attack into security. Now, you don't necessarily want to at the moment just because they do have blocker, so you can Digivolve up, swing, unsuspend, and then you're going to have to use the effects, and so it's not going to really be worth it too much, but they're going to go with the Kaida's Breath to bounce back the other stack there. This is going to still threaten lethal right now. We are swinging multiple checks with the Gaiomon and have the Agumon to swing in. Going to hit the X Antibody to gain a memory, but not going to be nearly enough to be able to pass turns, so just going to be able to swing in with the Agumon there, and they are going to be able to take game 1. So getting on into game 2, we do see there on the first reveal of the Cool Boy that they are playing the older BT1 War Greymon, which has security attack +1, also doesn't check option cards, so a very good finisher when you're able to go in for, you know, some pretty big swings. Your opponent has 2-3 security left, and you can get yourself up to a pretty high DP count. You can swing in with no security checks, be able to pretty safely survive, and then be able to go for Blitz Omni or maybe just another rookie for game. So it is a card that isn't seen too often in these builds, but it does give you a pretty good finisher, more guaranteed for sure, since you don't have to worry about hitting any option cards, whether that be something like Kaida's Breath that we saw, or even something on other ends like maybe Chaos Degradation. So gonna go in with the Agumon right there, whiffing on the Agumon, which is pretty rough. You don't whiff too often off that Gabumon, and then just going into a pass. So didn't want to go with the Black Greymon or Agumon in rookie. That most likely means that they don't have the Black Greymon in hand. None of the other Greymons do have the Black Digivolve cost, so can't go on top of that with any of them other than the Black Greymon. And so if you don't have it, you don't want to put that Agumon in raising, or else you just can't start building up a stack. So played it on board to get some search going. Unfortunately whiffed, and already looking in a pretty interesting situation here. Your opponent's going to start building up here. Looks like they're going to go into the EX1 Melga. That gives you a pretty good DP boost from the MetalGarurumon X Antibody, so that way you have a pretty good chance of surviving in there with the other DP boosts. But just going to swing into an Agumon, so pretty safe check there, and still sitting on the board. Black War Greymon / Gaiomon is not a deck that usually plays hard removal in forms of things like Gaia Force or anything like that, just because they have a lot of other ways to control with the things like Metal Greymon, Black War Greymon, even Gaiomon being able to Digivolve and swing over with the Metal Greymon inheritable there. That's kind of your form of control, so not having hard removal options means that if you don't have anything on the board, you are looking in trouble here. So going up into the War Garurumon promo would be able to just most likely end the game right there, but go up into the X Antibody, swing, and I don't think it really matters either way. I think you should have, if you're playing around removal cards, I think you should have stayed as the promo Garuru, swung unsuspend. If you do go down, just use your Garurumon X Antibody effect to stay alive, and then you can go for the Blitz Omni. But if you do hit it hard removal option there, you could have been in not a bad position. You're still probably winning the game, but you wouldn't win that turn. So I think going into the Garuru X Antibody, unless you just didn't have the Omnimon or something, was not the most necessary play there, but it didn't really matter. Still got there anyway. But turn 1, we do see the Greymon X Antibody coming out, stack build up, so that is going to be nice. The inheritable isn't the most important in this deck, just because we saw the 1 Kaida's Breath, and as I talked earlier, they usually play 1, maybe 2 in their list, and so you do shut down 1 card, but it's not like a lot of other lists where you could shut down multiple cards with that inheritable. So it is nice to get the extra draw for Digivolving for free and have the inheritable to shut down the Kaida's, but still not going to be the craziest inheritable here. So Just trying to get up that stack to build it up, get that extra draw, and now going up into the MetalGarurumon here. One of the key pieces of the deck for sure, especially in this matchup, because now if you put your opponent to 3, they could go up, or actually they would have to put you to 4 to go up into BlackGarurumon, and then you'd be able to swing, so potentially going to have to stay in raising for another turn or two. We did see the red memory boost get popped last turn, so no other way to really gain memory. I doubt this deck is playing something like Gravity Crush, so you're just going to have to either build up in raising, or you're going to have your opponent just give you an incredible amount of memory, like right here. If they put you to 0, then play something like Davis if they are playing a memory tamer, but the red memory boost coming out, that is very big. If you are able to, if your opponent puts you to 2, you can pop up, go to 4, and then you're up for BlackGarurumon, which will allow you to just pop your opponent's tamers, and then you can go ahead and use the MetalGarurumon Inheritable to swing over. They are going to be able to, you know, keep the stack alive because of the Greymon or Garurumon X Antibody effect, but does put your opponent in a pretty weird position here. You could also just go in for like Gaiomon or something to de-Digivolve, but Digivolving here is a bit interesting. If we had Cool Boy right there, we'd be in a really good spot, being able to go into that X Antibody, being able to gain 1, draw 1, then pop that red memory boost. But now we're just going to go up to 3. Interested in what they are going to go for here. None of their Megas are going to get them, are going to be cheap enough to get up into unless they have the BT9 Gaiomon, which we did see get put to the bottom. So unless they're playing multiple, then I don't think there's too much you can really do here. You can just go for the BlackGarurumon to pop the Cool Boy in the back, put your opponent to 1, and just set up a nice big blocker stack. Your opponent is sitting at 14 on their turn, so when they swung into that Gaiomon, they were able to survive. So if you do swing, you most likely aren't going to block right now. However, your opponent is going to be in a position to where next turn, if they don't get rid of BlackGarurumon, they are going to be able to swing over, like I said before. They can use the effect, but once they use the effect once, they are going to be in kind of big trouble. I would imagine we'd see a Gaiomon coming through. If you Gaiomon on top to de-Digivolve the MetalGarurumon X Antibody and then swing over, then your opponent has a much weirder stack, because then they're back at an ultimate. They're going to have to trash 2 of their champions, and then they'd have to get up back into a Mega to really get anything going for them. But putting the opponent at just 1 is nice. The Gaiomon is going to be 2 to Digivolve, but it does have the Blitz, so you could Digivolve for 2, put your opponent to 1, de-Digivolve, and then get the Blitz attack to swing over, and then you would have the reboot effect at the start of your opponent's turn to unsuspend and have that blocker effect. So you'd put your opponent back down to an ultimate, get rid of the champions, and have the blocker reboot. So that could be a pretty decent play, but doesn't look like they have it. So gonna go for the Cool Boy right here. Gonna grab the Agu X Antibody there. Just gonna go out and search some more, probably looking for that Gaiomon to get up into. Not really doing anything with the BlackGarurumon since you can't get the unsuspend effect. You don't really want to leave yourself suspended going to your opponent's turn when they can swing at 14, because then they just get rid of your BlackGarurumon. And as of right now, it's not going anywhere. You do have the protection for the removal cards, so you just kind of have to chill out here. So gonna go ahead and promote up the Agu X Antibody stack here. Only at 2 memory, but still have enough to potentially build up. You could go up into a Gaiomon, go down to 0, play the Gaiomon X Antibody to get another draw, and then the Cool Boy to gain 1 and draw. So you could get some cycle there. You'd go back to 1, so if you were going for the Gaiomon play, you'd put your opponent at 1. I think if you wanted the Gaiomon play, you'd probably want to try to go for it right now. But again, I also think they would have went for it last turn, so probably don't have it in hand. Gonna have to do something here. Looks like they're considering swinging, so gonna swing into the MetalGaruru. Gonna use the effect to trash the champion sources. So down the Garuru, so now they're only boosted up to 13, so if you went into Gaiomon, it would be a little bit nicer, but actually just going to go with the Blitz Omni here to swing over, get rid of the stack, and just try to put your opponent on a little bit of a clock here. The Kongu is going to help because that's going to prevent the Garurumon promo from swinging in right here, meaning that they would have to go in for the Garurumon X Antibody, which you can swing for 2 checks here. Then if you have at least 8 cards in hand, which it looks like they have more than 8 cards in hand, you would be able to go into the EX1 Garurumon. go down to 1, and then be able to go into Melga X, which would allow you to unsuspend and go for game. So they are going for the Garurumon right there. Gonna have enough to be able to just play it for, looks like I believe that was just 1, and there is the MetalGarurumon, which is going to be able to just unsuspend and swing in for game right there, with the bounce effect of course, but that's going to be irrelevant because it just swings in for game. But MetalGarurumon does take today's match after a very quick game 2 that was very one-sided. The other games did go back and forth. I think the Black or Greymon, that game 3 was just 1 card away from really having some pretty good plays. Just didn't see the Gaiomon till a little bit later. We saw the first game, the Gaiomon being such a big threat, being able to swing in, plus have that blocker reboot, and just wasn't able to get there. So MetalGarurumon able to capitalize, which is what this deck is so good at doing. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be bringing you even more BT9 content, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you next time. Peace out.